All right, so you're fixing to service your tranny, change fluid, change filters, whatever. You're gonna open up your tranny, and the dealers are too cheap to put a freaking drain on it. This is what you need. You need an evacuation pump. These things are super cheap. I think they range from like 50 to 80 bucks. This one I bought on Amazon. I think it was 80 bucks because it's the bigger one. And it actually measures how much fluid you're removing. So for those of us more inclined mechanics, you're obviously going to want to replace exactly what you pulled out of it. Well, why don't you just shove this tube right on down the dipstick hole and evacuate it out. That's going to yield, in my case, this was exactly half on this Jeep of the fluid that a fluid change would yield. So in total, it was supposed to be 6 to 6.5 quarts. This is just over 3 quarts that I removed. So no, it's not all the fluid from the pan, but for those of us getting under, I mean, you can really relate to what I'm saying. It's a nightmare. You get this tidal wave of ATF coming out, ends up on your dog and your wife and your hands and whatever. You're smelling it for 3 months. So this should, you know, create at least a situation where it's not nearly as bad. I didn't get the tidal wave when I just did this. It was really nice. The pan was about full, really. So you didn't have all that excess fluid creating that tidal wave. It was actually very clean. I actually did it right there, by the way. As you can tell, there's really not a lot of fluid on the ground. There are a couple little drips, but... And so those of you who need an exact measurement, when you drop the pan and the fluid goes into whatever pan you're using to catch all the fluid, you can then suck the remainder out of that pan to measure it. And like I said, each one of these is a half gallon, so you can then convert it to quarts on your handy dandy phone and you're good to go. So there you go. There's your tip for the day. That should be very helpful because I know none of us like servicing transmissions for this exact reason.